The Fujifilm XT3 review. Should you get it in 2020? Let's find out. So I had this camera since December 2019 and I'm ready to talk about it. What's up everyone, I'm Tongue and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to talk about the Fuji XT3 and what I like about this camera. There are tons of review out there that goes into depth about this camera, but what I would like to do is just share my experiences and my thoughts on the camera, what I like and what I dislike. So let's go. Fuji has come a long way with their XT line. I myself started shooting on the Fuji XT2 and then moved on to the XH1 and then the GFX 50R and now here the XT3. So it's safe to say that I know how this system works and I understand some of its quirks. I wish I had a XT3 body to show you what the body looks like, but I'm using it to film this YouTube video. So let's get started. Some of the things that I like about this camera are so I've been using the XH1 with the battery grip for 2 years, and when I got the XT3, I forgot how tiny this camera is. The handling of it feels great. It has some weight to it. It feels premium. It sure does make my kit a lot lighter, that's for sure. And because of its small size, it actually feels a lot better in my hands, and I really appreciate that. And coming from the XH1 and the GFX 50R, which I took everywhere with me when I was traveling, this feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. And because of that, it also makes me want to go out and shoot more. And my favorite lens to put on this camera is the 35mm f2. These two together make for a great combo. This camera has 26 megapixels and I thought 2 megapixels don't really make that much of a difference coming from the XH1's 24 megapixels. But I do see more detail, which took me off guard. It's sharper than the XH1, that's for sure. The pictures render beautifully and in my eyes it looks cleaner. I don't know what to say. It just, yeah, I don't know how to explain that. It just looks a lot cleaner. The autofocusing is blazing quick. I took both my XH1 and the XT3 to the Neon Demon studio here in Toronto, and when I was switching back and forth, I did notice how much quicker the XT3 is compared to the XH1. So Fuji had sports and action in mind when they made this camera, and it totally shows. I think this camera can shoot about 20 frames per second, and that's more than I'll ever need in a camera. Even though the colors are subjective, I just want to say that the Fuji colors are great. Fuji probably has the best colors in the game right now, there's no question about it. The raw files are also easy to work with. I never have to correct skin tones in post. The XT3 is no exception, the colors are great. Now let's get on the video side. Now that I'm back in Toronto, I told myself to create more videos. A goal of mine is to come on and try to practice talking to the camera and get a lot looser. I solely shoot everything on the XT3 for now. I shot the Osmo action review with this camera and the footage came out looking freaking amazing to me. The 4K footage looks so crisp and detailed, and I never shot in 4K because I didn't have a laptop capable of editing it, but now I do. And let me tell you, it was like if you had condensation on your glasses and then you wipe them off to see clear. That is exactly what happened to me. I worked with flat color profiles from other brands before and I've always have a hard time grading them. I still don't know how to grade properly. I just slide a few sliders around until I get something that looks good. For me, the footages always broke down with the other brands that I shot with. I shot 4K ETERNA using 10-bit and with minor adjustments to the saturation and the contrast, my video turned into what I deem as the YouTuber aesthetic. And I never thought I'd get it to the point where I look like a real YouTuber. I'm moving on up! That's the joke I put up. So it's really cool how ETERNA is really easy to color correct and grade for noobs like me. Let's talk about some negatives, some minor nitpickings that I have with the XT3. Number one, the eye autofocus. I thought I need it for portraits, but I don't use it because of how jittery it is on screen. Don't get me wrong, when it doesn't act like it's on crack. It works really, really great. But there are cases where the model would twirl or turn their faces to the side and the eye tracking would lose it, and then it comes back, but it comes back all jittery. What I want the sensor to do is pick the closest eye in front of me, and for me, it has a hard time doing that. They can't pick up on the eyes, and sometimes the eye box is not even on the eyes, so it actually throws me off when I shoot. It's just all over the place, and I don't know, does it happen to you guys or is it just me? Let me know, because I just find that super annoying to the point where I just turn it off and I can live without it. Of course, I would love to use it. It'll make my life easier, but as of right now, I don't use it. Number 2, the battery life. The battery life on this camera sucks so bad. I wish they developed new batteries on this iteration. I think we've been using this battery since the first XT line. You need like 3 to 4 batteries to last you through a photo shoot. Number 3, the lack of lens options for video. All these lenses are great and beautiful for photos, but they're not that good for video. If you're looking for cinematic shots with the smooth focus pose, I don't know of any XF lenses that are able to do that. That also brings up another issue with their older lenses on newer bodies. Now that Fuji has caught up with the rest of the camera brands in video specs, they need to get their lenses in the same state. I got the 14mm f2.8 and I don't use it on my videos. I thought to myself, this is wide enough for me to film stuff in, but the lens is so damn old, you can always hear the lens grinding and making like crunching noise, and it's very distracting to hear when you're filming. So Fuji really does need to do a refresh on all their old lenses to suit the video-centric shooters. But with those nitpicks, am I satisfied with this camera and what it has to offer? Why, yes. Yes, I am. When this camera was first announced, I wasn't too thrilled by it at all because I didn't care for video at the time. But now, as I try to make more content, I've grown to appreciate what this camera has to offer. It offers up to 4K 60, and that's all you really need for content creation. The video files are really easy to grade. And if you're a beginner like me, you can get the footage looking really, really nice with just the flat ETERNA profile. And it just comes out really good, so good job to Fuji for getting their video specs up and competitive to the other brands. Now looking at the photo sides of things, it's real quick. It autofocuses really, really well. The colors on stills are beautiful to look at. The colors and the film simulations are what I was drawn to when I first got into the Fuji system. And because of its size, it really makes you want to go out there and shoot. So that leads to the next question. I think what bothered me about Fuji is how quick they refreshed the XT line. I think it was about less than a year and a half after the XT3, they announced the XT4. And because they did that, it really drove down the prices of the XT3. And for anyone that has bought the XT3 brand new at the time, you really took a hit. And because of Fujifilm's constant sale throughout the year, it will bring the value of the Fuji cameras down even more. So for me, it doesn't give me any incentive to buy their new flagship cameras brand new anymore. I bought my X-H1 brand new for almost $3,000 and it lost its value when the XT3 was announced. And now that the XT4 has been out for quite some time now, you can get the XT3 for a really, really good deal. An XT4 on Henry's is listed at $2199.99 for body only. There's a Fujifilm sale going on right now. They're knocking off $550 on the XT3 bodies. So you can get it for $1349.99. So right off the bat, you're going to save yourself a difference of $850 buying an XT3 over the XT4. But there's IBIS in the XT4, you say? Yes, IBIS is great if you're recording film. It'll take away its shakiness and jitteriness. But from all the testings that I've seen on YouTube with the XT4's IBIS, you're better off using that $850 you save from buying an XT3 and getting yourself a proper gimbal. The Ronin SE or the Weebill S are great gimbals that will give you amazing stabilization, and those cost around $500. And if you're photocentric, you can use a tripod or shoot at a higher ISO with a faster shutter speed to compensate for the lack of IBIS. And after all that is said and done, you're still saving $350. Well, what if you don't need a gimbal or don't care about the IBIS? Get the XT3. The XT4 uses the same sensor as the XT3, so image quality is still the same. What you're really paying for is its faster system with minor improvements in video and the new film simulations. Is that something you can justify paying an extra $850 for? I'd use that savings and invest in a really good lens. The used market here in Toronto is a good spot for me to buy lenses. I can get a really good lens for around that price. I can also go and buy a used Fujifilm XT3 for about $1,000 on Kijiji. You'll save even more money and save on the tax if you decide to go that route. Used Fujifilms are always being moved like hotcakes, and sometimes you can haggle down the prices to get yourself even a better deal. Anyways, that's my time. I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts and experience with this camera. If you like this video and you want to see me do more reviews on the Fuji system, comment below, let me know, and don't forget to subscribe because I am going to do more Fuji content and I'm going to try to get my hands on the Fujifilm XT4 to do a review for you guys. Anyways, that's it for me for now. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope you guys stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. I love you. Okay, bye.